up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches back with another video. Y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry I was gone. Baby girl was stressing in real life. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is disinfecting our implements. Now, the first thing we want to do is always wash your hands. Matter of fact, somebody in the comments below, be our official hand wash counter. Okay, so I'm just showing you guys the boxes and bins that my soiled implements are in. If you did not know, you should always keep your implements in soiled or to be disinfected containers. This pink one is what my clients put their stuff in, day of. And then the box one is where I put stuff when I really don't feel like cleaning or if I'm not going to do it next day. Now, what you need to know is you need to be scrubbing. Hot water and soap is the only way that you are going to knock off the initial debris. What I'm doing right here is actually called sanitation. So if someone says, oh, I know how to sanitize my tools, you should actually run, because that's not the proper lingo. That's not the proper terminology. I'm not trying to be a stickler or nothing, but sanitization is the first step in the process of disinfection. Now, I kind of backed the camera up so you guys can see how thoroughly I'm rinsing and cleaning, because you need to make sure there is no debris left over. All right. For some of you guys who are not used to this process, it might be easy to think like, oh, I'm just washing it really quick and I'm gonna lay it out to dry. No, you need to make sure that there's no debris, because otherwise it's going to cross-contaminate your barbicide solution. All right. Now, I am using a scrub brush that you can find at Target, Walmart, Safeway, wherever you want to go ahead and shop. Heavy duty is what you're going to need. It's lasted me so many years, no problems at all. So basically, once you wash and scrub, which you can do this with your drill bits too, you actually should, but just be careful, because as you're going to see, I almost dropped it down the sink. I have lost 3 bits by doing this. So either close your sink or get a better grip. Now, after you do this, you're going to lay everything out to dry. I use a microfiber dish towel mat. Okay, so that way it's as the things are laying down, they're drying from that side as well as just open air. Okay, so again, we need to rinse everything out. Now, you guys can see I've washed all of my implements. I'm washing my hands because guess what? I'm getting ready to handle clean tools. So this is every single thing that I've washed. It's laying out to dry. The microfiber mat is drying it on the one side. And then if you are in a hurry and you don't want to wait for everything to air dry, you are more than welcome to pat dry or towel dry. Just make sure it's with a clean towel. I typically keep a towel by the side of my barbicide station. And I keep the clean part covered on top of another clean towel. Now, if you're in a super hurry and you need to use a drill bit right away, you can use Lysol spray. Okay, but this is how you need to spray. You see how I'm drowning it in spray, and then you leave it to dry. Basically, you have to let the disinfectant solution sit. That's what you should be doing on your surfaces as well. Now, the important thing is once I take it out of the barbicide, I'm going to rinse it, and then I'm going to lay it on a corner where it's not touching any other tools that have yet to receive the barbicide treatment. Of course, I wash my hands off screen, and then I'm just basically loading up my barbicide container with the new tools. Typically, I like to use this taller one for cuticle pushers and nail clippers, and I like to use the white one for my drill bits and my brushes. Now, this is important. Do you see how every single thing is submerged under the solution? That's how it needs to be. So this one is kind of lacking in solution. You can kind of see it wouldn't cover anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start fresh and show you guys exactly how we do this. So these containers are really, really small. I want to say this has got to be 4 to 8 ounces of water. So if you did not know, after you dump your old barbicide out, you want to kind of rinse it with a little bit of hot water or something like that. Make sure there's no debris floating or anything. We're going to fill it all the way with cold water. This is going to be messy because honestly, you need enough water to make sure your implements will be fully submerged, but also so every bit of liquid won't come out. Okay. So that's what I'm checking for. Now, I did make a mess. I make a mess every mother freaking time, but it's okay. Okay. Because it's just water. Now, for those who don't know, per 32 ounces of water is 2 ounces of barbicide. That is literally such vast amounts. That's what you're using when you're in a big salon. Most people are not going to need that amount if you are a single tech, even if you have 2 techs in your salon. Okay, so to put that into perspective, 2 ounces of water is literally tablespoons worth. Okay, so for something like this, you literally just need a splash. Now, I realize that a lot of water fell out, so I'm just adding a little bit of extra barbicide just so that way I don't have to keep going back and forth with the water. So I didn't even need that much barbicide to put it in perspective. I have been doing this for 6 years. So honestly, I know exactly what the solution is supposed to look like, how much to cover and all this stuff. Now, my brushes, I felt them. They are dry to the touch because again, the microfiber mat, which is why I lay them down. I load up with 5 brushes and 2 of my bits, You want to make sure things are not overcrowded because the solution does need to work, but it also does need to be submerged, okay? So do you see how everything is pretty much submerging as I close it? You always want to be sure. Now, you need to wait 10 minutes. If you do not wait 10 minutes, your stuff is not clean. This is the process of disinfection. Actually sanitizing, and then we pat everything dry, and then we put everything in the barbicide solution. If someone says, oh, I'm sterilizing my tools, they're most likely speaking incorrectly, because the process of sterilization goes one step further and involves an autoclave. I've seen a lot of comments online of people bullying other girls in nail techs about the fact that, oh, you're not using an autoclave, you're not doing this and that. You don't need to. As a nail tech, we learn in school that autoclaves are actually most commonly used for dentists, doctors, estheticians that break the skin. Okay, even though we may have clients that, oh, we nicked them or maybe they bled a little bit, that's still not enough to really need an autoclave. You can have one if you want to spend that money. Just know a UV sterilizer is not an autoclave, and an autoclave is not a UV sterilizer. Okay, a UV sterilizer is a scam. It does not do anything extra. Okay, I'm letting you know that now, and that's coming from a bitch that went to school. All right, so in the meantime, while that 10 minutes pass, I pretty much clean up my mess. I clean the counters, rinse out the little bins and stuff like that, make sure everything is nice and tidy. Typically, if I had a client, I would continue working on the client. Again, I'm washing my hands because we don't want to cross-contaminate. Remember, cross-contamination is basically touching dirty and clean, or we're mixing, client germs, bacteria. So as you guys can see, 10 minutes went by, took everything out, rinsed everything off like I did before, and laid everything to dry again. Now, at this point, I'm putting everything in my labeled clean containers. I'm in the state of California. It is the law to have closed labeled containers. So these containers say clean brushes, clean implements, clean cuticle pushers. They need to be in a closed environment. Otherwise, again, cross-contamination. You don't want a bunch of dust and particles, debris to get into these containers, because then that means they're not clean for the client. Remember, the things that are not able to go through this process are files. I don't care what these files say, they're not washable. You cannot put wooden implements or papers or anything through this, okay? We're doing metal and plastic, non-porous objects only. And then I'm done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, tune in for the next one, and I will see you guys the next time.